oh, no! Whoa, I got that one. I got that shit. Here we go. Full team, 11 on 11.
She can come with me. It's nice and cool.
Justice, religious.
Yeah! E-A-G-L-E-S, Eagles! Ticket holder, I've always gone to the Link, Veterans Stadium, all that stuff, and I always heard about how Eagles fans were the most passionate fans and how they were, ravenous for their team and they were crazy. And I always thought that was true, but it was a little bit like we're fluffing ourselves up, right? We're making ourselves sound bigger than we really are. Mm-hmm. The more well-traveled I become, Los Angeles, Atlanta, Tampa Bay, Washington, even New York to the Giants games, there's always such a large Eagles presence there that's never reciprocated at Lincoln Financial Field. Like you've never heard of another fan base taking over training camp at the Link or taking over a stadium. But we seem to do it time and time again, and here we were doing it at a friggin' training camp.
That really is like an all-time thing right there. And speaking of being well-traveled, I understand you're going to be working with Philly Sports Trips. You are working with Philly Sports Trips,
yes.
No?
Yeah, oh, absolutely. I have been asked to host, DJ, and conduct the season opener party down there in Atlanta. So for the first time, the Nick Sirianni and Jalen Hurts and Devontae Smith and all this brand new look Eagles, we're going to be marching into Mercedes-Benz Stadium, the Dome there in Atlanta, and just taking that place over once again.
I mean, you know what? I've been rooting for you to come out of your shell. You've been an introvert for as long as I've known you. No, that's great, man. I can't think of anybody to be more of a Pied Piper than you, leading Eagles chants down there and DJing, because I know you also do that. Did I see this right? Were you DJing and being the officiant at a wedding recently, an Eagles-themed wedding?
Yeah, so one of my 4th and John brethren, Luciano.
Oh, okay. 4th and John, yeah, 4th and John, yeah.
Yeah. He asked me to officiate the wedding, and then somehow I got roped into DJing the wedding. So it was pretty much, Pastor E-Rock, and then the headphones went behind the decks, and it was DJ E-Rock. So, that was a good time. It was a very good time.
I want to get back to, I'm sure it was. I want to get back to practice here for a second. Sure. Jalen Hurts supposedly had a phenomenal practice, even doing a little, we showed it earlier in the show, doing a little knee waggle, if you will, after throwing a touchdown pass, wasn't? How did Jalen Hurts look to you?
Well, Jalen, I mean, it's funny. Jalen sometimes seems like he needs like a couple reps to kind of get himself warmed up. But when Jalen starts feeling himself, he's really hard to kind of contain, because you can see that, unlike our previous quarterback, who will not be mentioned, who will, however, hopefully get us a first-round pick, he's really smart with the football. you can see him growing right before our eyes. He's progressing through the reads. When it isn't there, he's either throwing it away when he's in trouble or he's taking off. But no matter how he's doing it, it seems to be intelligently. I know the knock on Jalen last year, and he didn't have preseason. It was a very unconventional offseason, was that it was run one read and take off. And maybe that was the case, but I think he's maturing into that offense and really understanding what Nick Sirianni is asking of him. More importantly, I think Nick Sirianni is really focused on the strengths that Jalen Hurts brings to the table and utilizing that. And I think, Mark, I hate to tell you, but I think this offense is going to be a lot better than people think it is.
I'm telling you right now, brother. I'm telling you right now. I am just flat out excited for the Jalen Hurts era to begin. Because, like, look, I think this guy really does thrive in pressure-packed situations. Like, I don't think he lets that get to him. And to see what he's been able to do in just at practices, see what he was able to do last year without the preseason, as you mentioned, without having a full offseason, as every other quarterback usually has in a non-COVID year, has the ability to get his playbook, go through the motions a lot more than he was last year. If there was ever a year to grade a quarterback on a curve for knowing the playbook, I think last year would have been it. And this year he seems to be digesting all this stuff faster. And on top of it, similar to what you're saying, he just all in all seems to be a gamer, a guy that just wants to play the game. Practice, not so much, but get in game situations so he can perform.
You took the words right out of my mouth, because when you were done speaking, I was going to bring up the term gamer. Like, I think that's genuinely what he is. It's not that he's being lazy at training camp. It's not that he's being inconsistent at training camp. I just think when the lights are the brightest and it's time for him to shine, now that he's had a full offseason as being the number one guy underneath his belt, I think you're really going to see this guy on Sundays have a complete command over the offense. And more importantly, I really think his teammates believe in him, because there's been questions on whether or not the Eagles organization actually believes in him. But every single person to a man that you hear talk about Jalen Hurts, he's the guy. He's our leader. And to put the icing on the cake, I really think he has a mentality and a heart that fits this city, right? So he's not going to get rattled by the big stage. He's not going to get rattled by the bright lights. He's not going to hear the boos and, oh my God, they're booing me, or maybe maybe they like the backup quarterback better. Oh my, am I going to get benched? No. I don't think that's Jalen Hurts' game. I think he's mature enough for the city, and the city's going to really embrace him.
Yeah, Jalen Reagor certainly was speaking glowingly about him yesterday, and this guy just seems to be he thrives in a leadership role. Like, we talk a lot about mental health, and I've talked about this on the show as well. We talk about people, and hey, you know what, mental health, and we hope everyone has good mental health. I do always take time, and Giannis Antetokounmpo is another example of this. I take time to pat guys on the back that show their mental strength as somebody that we can look up to, and I think Jalen Hurts is a very mentally tough individual.
Everything that he's been through in college, even in the draft, even coming here to Philadelphia, has kind of honed him for this sort of – listen, Philadelphia isn't for everybody. We've seen guys that stay here the rest of their lives. We've seen the Brandon Grahams of the world, the Lane Johnson, the Brian Dawkins, the so on and so forth throughout Eagles history, right? We've also seen guys that just can't handle this city. And I think everything that he's gone through has really kind of honed him to be a Philadelphia Eagle.
Yeah, I hope so.
Uniquely a Philadelphia Eagle.
Yeah, I certainly hope so. Nick Sirianni, all right. Not exactly the best introduction to Philadelphia with the press conference that he had. Since then, I got to say, I'm kind of liking Nick Sirianni and his personality a little bit. I don't think he'll ever be a commanding public speaker, and I do long for the moment where everyone's questioning a certain decision that he made during a game, to go for it, to put in somebody that he shouldn't have put in, whatever it might be. I'm eagerly awaiting that explanation after a game to see how he handles that. But overall, I love the competitive nature of this guy. I love what he's been saying in his press conferences. And overall, I love the energy that he brings to the table.
Yo, my man had us worried, legit worried. I realize that public speaking's not for everybody. Right? No, you do it incredibly well. I like to think that I do it pretty well.
I think you do okay.
But all right, but part of being an NFL head coach is navigating that podium, whether you like it or not. And people can point to Bill Belichick and say, well, he doesn't really say anything, right? On to Cincinnati. Yeah, but Bill Belichick's Bill Belichick. So when you're winning and you're Bill Belichick, that kind of excuses you from other aspects of coaching. I'm very happy to say that, and I think everyone has observed it. You've certainly observed that Nick Sirianni's kind of settled in, right? He's settled into that role as a public speaker, because we don't know exactly how he is as a coach, as a play caller, as a game manager. We're going to find all that out, and that's part of the excitement of this going into this season. But I am with you. I kind of want to see how he because listen, I could go up there after a game when the Eagles won and whoop some ass and field questions, right? Any of us could do that. Piece of cake. I want to see how he reacts and responds when times are difficult, coming off of a difficult loss. The raw emotion is there, and he's getting grilled by reporters like Doug used to. Like honestly, like Doug had to field those kind of questions, and he would sit there and kind of roll his eyes or kind of just, oh God, I got to answer. I want to see Nick Sirianni react to that, and to his credit, or maybe to the Eagles' credit, because I'm sure they're coaching him up on it, he's bounced back very nicely.
I couldn't agree more. And you know, now that you mention it, I kind of do want to see you at the podium at some point after a game, fielding questions. And like, if somebody starts asking a question that you don't really like, I could see you just having your DJ decks pop up there at the podium, and you just start playing. Yeah, like, I'm sorry, what was that? And then turning the music back up.
No, I'd be a terrible head coach managing that podium, because I would just, dude, shut up. That's you know what I mean? I just tell people to shut up and move on.
Yeah, you know this guy, Nick Foles. There's essentially a banner of him outside the stadium now holding up the Lombardi trophy.
Rumor has it.
I was kicking this around because he's like a hot name out there right now in trade rumors around the NFL. And one of the names that he's been tied to, one of the teams he's been tied to, is the Dallas Cowboys. And I thought about this. My initial reaction would be, I'd hate to see it. But then I'm like, wait a minute. Nick Foles gave us the ultimate gift that we could have ever asked for as an Eagles fan base. Yeah. If there's ever a comforting thing to see a former, like even Harold Carmichael, who played for the Cowboys, Randall Cunningham, who played for the Cowboys, all the Eagles